Every once in a while, I drag the monster in my basement out for a few minutes at a time, and now, it's time to give it the spotlight. I love Homestuck. It's that once-in-a-lifetime kind of brainworm that never goes away. It just goes dormant for a while before something happens to reawaken it. The franchise is still going strong, despite so many close brushes with death. Company after company falls or gives up the IP, and yet somehow it gets back up every time. Some wish that the damn thing would just end already, but each revival brings with it new creators, new visions, and new ideas. It never feels truly stale or like pure fan service, even when I don't personally like it. And in these times of creative bankruptcy, that's pretty refreshing. I have a lot of faith in the current team, led by Santiago Rodriguez, aka James Roach. But something they said near the start of their tenure caught my ear. And ever since, I've been waiting with bated breath to see if it becomes reality. A Wizardology-style book about Sburb that more fully documents the lore behind the game. Concrete, encyclopedic knowledge about the world of the comic that fills in a lot of the gaps filled only by inference and fan theories. This might seem like a trivial matter, especially to those more interested in the story and characters. Beyond Canon is still in Act 1, with many plot threads still unresolved. Hiveswap is only halfway done, and Haunt-Switch's fate is pretty uncertain. I've no objection to the team focusing on these projects, as I'm excited to see what they've got in store. But I think fleshing out the world of Sburb would provide a valuable resource to fan creators, and do well to preserve the original comic's legacy. The game's mechanics and mythology are one of Homestuck's greatest strengths. But even after 8,000 pages, there's still so much we don't know. Still so many burning questions left unanswered. Homestuck lends itself so well to fan content because its central plot device, the game of Sburb, can mesh easily with any set of fan characters. It's like the twisted love child of Jumanji and Dungeons & Dragons. It finds you, sucks you in, and leaves you forever changed by the time you manage to escape. Though, to be fair, that's just regular Dungeons & Dragons. But no matter where and when you set your story, whether it's regular old humans or mutant aliens across the universe, they can play their own session so long as they have a computer and Wi-Fi. Sburb has a set structure, but changes depending on its players, so you're given a foundation that you can tailor to suit your character's personalities. Of special note is the Classpecting system. Whether Hussey intended it or not, the beauty of a Classpect is that it can be either literal or metaphorical. It's predetermined and dictates the course of your destiny. You may get abilities that let you wield the power of your aspect, or you may embody your aspect through your actions. For example, both Dirk and Aridin are princes, a class that destroys their own aspect. Dirk can literally wreak havoc on hearts by ripping souls from people's bodies. On the other hand, Aridin never ascends to God tier, but destroys the troll's last hope for propagation by blowing up the matriorb. There's so much to play around with here in how you choose to interpret a character's role with regards to their destiny. The most formative experience I had in the fandom was a set of pseudo-tabletop sessions of Sburb I played online with friends. For each session, we'd create our characters, roleplay the chats, and narrate our own quests throughout the game. If it seemed like two story threads could converge, we would collaborate out of character. And gradually, we wove together a cohesive narrative. We'd even practice character writing in the dream bubbles, having versions of our characters from different sessions interact with each other. It was a lot of fun and changed the way I look at storytelling. And it's those kinds of experiences that I feel are crucial to this fandom. A guidebook to Sburb could provide a stronger foundation for fan sessions, giving actual reference for the meanings of aspects, fray motifs, denizens, jujus, etc. We never really see proper god tier abilities of Doom and Blood, any examples being tucked out of sight in group photos. It's unclear whether or not sessions not set up by a stable loop can bear fruit. There's mention made of glitch sessions, where the pre-scratch players are created by their post-scratch counterparts. That's just never brought up again. And I'm sure there's plenty of authors and role players that have a much longer list of examples. It's not unprecedented either. In 2017, What Pumpkin created the extended zodiac, a personality quiz with 288 outcomes. It reveals more zodiac signs from Alternia, as well as vague descriptions of lunar sway and aspects, and how they represent you based on your answers. And immediately, people were eager to take the test and start discussing their results. For a while, you could even buy merch with your own sign. I took the test several times, trying to get a result I liked better, but I've accepted by now that I'm a purist. The zodiac didn't reveal much in the way of lore, but it still acted as a valuable resource for making fan trolls, with hundreds of new signs, as well as designated aspects and lunar sways. Even something simpler than a book, like another online release of this scale, could still go a long way for creators and casual fans alike. Perhaps something akin to the Troll Call, where tidbits about new Hiveswap characters were released periodically to build up anticipation. If assembling a full encyclopedia of Sburb lore is too demanding a project, perhaps releasing tidbits or answering fan-submitted questions every so often could prove more manageable. After all, one of the initiatives of the Independent Creative Union is to interact and support fan projects, and providing notes or clarification on Sburb would be quite the boon. But say everything does work out and a full book is created. Having a print edition out there on shelves, a la the Viz collections, would be a great stepping stone for new fans. One of my biggest pet peeves with the print volumes was the inclusion of the author's commentary. Don't get me wrong, I love hearing cool trivia about the comic, but a lot of these notes spoiled plot elements thousands of pages in advance. For someone who's never heard of Homestuck, it might suck to start reading this story and have the spoilers in your face from page 1. But a Spurbology book doesn't need to reference events in the comic to explain the game. A prospective reader could be drawn in, get invested in the concepts, and seek out the story to see them in action. At the very least, it would be a nice celebration of 15 years, a monument to the franchise and its fans. Something like Journal 3 or Hyrule Historia, to really solidify how far we've come. But we'll see what comes of the rumor. Whatever form it takes, I'll be happy to read it when or if it comes out. Hell, I'd be happy to write it. Y'all looking for volunteers? Thank you for watching, and if anyone from the Creative Union sees this, it's an honor. Big fan of the work y'all do, and excited to see what comes next. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, just leave a comment and let me know. And if you liked the video, consider leaving a like, or even subscribing. Till next time, happy holidays!